I mean, the first thing to recognize about homelessness is most people who are homeless didn't plan to be homeless. There were people who couldn't afford their homes, they couldn't find jobs, and they probably exhausted all of their friends and family's goodwill, right? And
Yeah.
then and then what happens is they start living on the streets, and the inherent trauma of living on the streets requires them to be fucked up all the time. They get into drugs, they get into alcohol, and then all of a sudden, there's millions of people like that now.
Hmm.
So homelessness is really much more of a problem, and I'll narrow it down to Boulder here, which has a pretty sizable and essentially there's just no options. I worked with a San Francisco developer on a pretty well-known campaign to push for supportive housing in San Francisco, and part of that was I created a white paper entitled "Bringing Back the Residential Hotel: One Way of Solving San Francisco's homeless problem." But essentially, throughout U.S. history, there were low-cost residential hotels where people could, live with not a whole lot of money, but live in private. They weren't always safe, which is something that you could easily do something about.
Hmm.
But the main thing was they were just affordable places to live in central locations.